Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to travel back in time, way back, like 4,000 years, to ancient Mesopotamia. We're going to unlock the financial secrets of one of the richest cities in all of history, the legendary city of Babylon. So, let's just dive right in with the big question, the one that makes this whole story so amazing. How did a city create millionaires without a single bank? I mean, think about that. No stock market, no investment firms. How in the world did a city full of everyday people get so incredibly rich? Well, the answer? It's all about a shared mindset, a deep understanding of financial discipline. I want you to picture this for a second. A city just humming with energy. Its towering walls touching the sky, golden gates shimmering in the sun. This was the absolute commercial engine of the ancient world. You got caravans rolling in with incense and jewels, ships docking with copper and spices. Money, silver and gold, was flowing like a river through its markets. And the craziest part? It was all managed by the people themselves, not by some big institution. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Because in most ancient societies, wealth was, for the kings and the nobility. But Babylon, they were different. Their prosperity wasn't just for the elite. It was built on a pretty revolutionary idea, that wealth was for everyone. And here's the secret sauce, right? It was all about a mindset shift. The Babylonians saw wealth as a skill, a learnable skill, just like farming or blacksmithing. They truly believed that anyone, and I mean anyone, no matter where you started in life, could become wealthy if you just learned how money works. It wasn't magic, it was a craft you could master. So the Babylonians had this core belief that money wasn't some big mystery. It wasn't random luck. Instead, they saw it as something that followed predictable, universal laws, kind of like gravity or the changing of the seasons. And they called these the universal laws of gold. Master them, they believed, and you could unlock a fortune.
And their entire financial philosophy really boils down to these three foundational laws. Now, they look simple on the surface, but don't let that fool you. Their power is just undeniable. So let's break them down, one by one.
All right, law number one. This was absolutely non-negotiable, and it's a concept you've probably heard a million times. Pay yourself first. The Babylonians believed you had to capture your money by saving at least a tenth, 1/10 of everything you earned. And this wasn't some casual suggestion, save if you can. No, it was a disciplined core part of their lifestyle.
But here's the thing. Saving was just step one. It was only the beginning. They had this deep understanding that idle money, gold just sitting in a chest, was a totally wasted opportunity. As they saw it, wealth should never sleep. It had to grow. It had to be put to work. So the question is, how did they put their gold to work? Well, with no banks, the Babylonians basically became each other's venture capitalists. A farmer might fund a merchant's trip to a faraway land. A skilled artisan could get a loan to expand their workshop. It was, for all intents and purposes, the world's first peer-to-peer lending market. Think about it. It's like a 4,000-year-old version of Kickstarter. And this created this incredibly dynamic economy where money was always moving, always growing, for pretty much everyone. And this is what I find so brilliant about their approach. They invested boldly, sure, but they were never reckless. On one hand, you have wise investing. You partner with trusted people who have a proven track record, and you aim for realistic profits. On the other hand, you have foolish investing, reckless gambles, and those deals that just sound way too good to be true. For them, protecting their hard-earned capital was always priority number one. They also had a surprisingly modern view on debt. They saw it as a tool, a heavy burden for sure, but one that could be used responsibly if you had a clear and realistic plan to pay it back. Archaeologists have literally dug up these clay tablets with loan agreements etched into them, and they all show a clear plan for repayment. But that brings up a pretty big question, doesn't it? How do you enforce all these deals without a modern legal system? How did this whole bankless economy even work? What was holding it all together? The answer is both simple and incredibly profound. It was a culture of trust. Their whole society was built on these pillars of trust. You had detailed contracts literally carved into clay tablets, a permanent record. You had the power of reputation. An honest merchant's good name was their most valuable asset. The community itself helped enforce agreements, and if all else failed, you had the king's courts. It was a society where your word was your bond, and that's the invisible foundation that made the whole thing work.
And to protect all this wealth they were building, they followed another timeless rule that we still talk about constantly today. You know the one. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. The Babylonians were masters of diversification. They spread their investments all over the place. Agriculture, trade, craftsmanship, mining. This way, if one venture failed, which happens, it wouldn't wipe them out completely. It was financial self-defense.
So fast forward a few thousand years. Babylon's mighty walls have long since crumbled to dust, but archaeologists, digging through the ruins, started finding these clay tablets. And on them, they discovered the city's financial secrets, perfectly preserved. And the amazing thing they found? This ancient wisdom, it's just as powerful and relevant today as it was 4,000 years ago.
So, if we boil it all down, what's the big takeaway here? Well, it's this. A timeless, 5-step blueprint for wealth. This is a direct inheritance from the richest citizens of the ancient world. Save at least 10%. Make your money work for you. Protect it from foolish risks. Be disciplined and patient. And learn from people who know what they're doing. See? It's not some complicated Wall Street strategy. It's just timeless wisdom.
In the end, the incredible story of Babylon is a powerful reminder. It shows us that real, lasting wealth isn't created by complicated institutions or just getting lucky. It's created through wisdom. It's built on a foundation of knowledge and, maybe more importantly, the discipline to use that knowledge every single day.
And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. Babylon's walls have fallen, but its wisdom remains. These simple, powerful ideas have survived for thousands of years for one simple reason. They just plain work. So the wisdom is here. The question is, how will you use it?